So the world is a world war zone. Okay, the minute you step out, you have to deal with all types of crazy shit. The more knowledge you have, the more you'll be isolated. Like me, you're talking about if you're in the dating shit, you have to worry about a lot of things. Okay, you have to worry about pansexuals, asexuals, introverts, extroverts. You have to worry about are they loosey gooseys? Do they run around having sex with multiplicity of people? Do they get STIs, STD checks? Um, or have they been tested for HIV/AIDS? Most people don't get tested, and you know what? I'm the last of the fucking Mohicans, and you know what I noticed? I posted my all my exams. In fact, I took 8 exams when I was in New York City. 8 exams, blood work, because I wasn't a believer. I needed to double check on everything. I went to the foot doctor. Okay, I went to my blood doctors. I got so many blood work that the doctors kicked me the fuck out of the hospital. They like don't even fucking come back. You're healthy as a mule. And you know what? A lot of people don't even go to motherfucking hospitals and they don't get checked. They don't go to a clinic. And you know what? They be out there dating. They don't want to know shit. They don't want to know if you got it, you don't got it. They don't give a fuck. There's a high STI, STD rate, and most people just don't give a fuck. And I'm just like, I was always a secular Christian. I didn't give a fuck about the laws. You didn't see me carrying a Bible everywhere I went. Till I started to see that motherfuckers in New York City started hitting on me, licking their lips like this. The dudes, I'm talking about men, grown men, trying to lick their lips, trying to seduce me into homosexuality, and women being pissed off for men not being homosexuals, because women, they all into threesomes with two men, and they be in the middle. See, that's not me. Fuck that. That's not me. I've never been like that. I'm more like me, and about 100 wives and women. And this is the fucked up part of Western society, because Western society don't want to allow the man to be a fucking man and have multiple wives, but then they want to let the man be gay, alright, and be married to another homosexual, another man or woman, and they can and allow them to have their little orgies and menage a trois, right? But when it comes to polygamous, they want to deny our rights to be able to. They want to deny our rights to live normal. They don't. They don't. They want to harass us in the spiritual world, attack us spiritually, and they're the ones that radicalize us, because at the end of the day, they trying to make us part of their tribe and make us fucking homosexuals and gay. And I ain't with that shit. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I'm not with that fucking subculture or whatever the fuck they want to talk about. I'm about women. The power of the PUSSY. I believe in women. I believe in family. I believe family unit. I believe I could get married with one woman. She healthy as fuck. Get married with her. Have children with her. Cause I'm a big family man. I just want lots of children. As you can see in Puerto Rico, all these, excuse my language, all these hypocrites in government talk about, oh, we want to make Puerto Rico better. Look at our political charade. Hey, they go out there parading Barack Obama and all these presidents from the U.S. Hey, they all dancing in the streets, and that's all plutocracy money. They take from the middle class and poor, and they just use it for their campaign and they travel expenses and shit like that. And then like fucking a year, 2 years later, motherfuckers is young kids in Puerto Rico can't even have a decent fucking meal on a table, and they can't even eat that meal. So where the fuck we heading at with all that bullshit? I don't do none of that nonsense. Everybody that know me, I'm been street trill. That, you know what street trill is, right? when you got Parus with razors in their hands trying to G-check you. And if you come with some fake frivolous shit, they will cut your face open. I've been street since I was young. So anybody asks me if I'm truth, I always have to be truth. Because at the end of the day, if you ain't true, I'm coming to G-check you. And nowadays they try to G-check you for falsehood. So that you could say some shit false, or they'll come and try to get at you anyhow. Even if you're truthful. Nowadays they try to get at you anyhow, even if you're truthful. So you can ask the Parus about me. I grew up with nothing but Parus, and I grew up with folks. I grew up with Nietas, Latin kings. Forget it. You can ask them. Anyways, we're not going to talk about all that nonsense. I mean, we're not going to talk about the concept of why gangs exist. Gangs exist because of warfare, different type of warfare. It's not tribal, it's not spiritual, it's communal, it's etc. Historical between certain family tribes and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I'm all about marriage. I'm about marriage. I'm about health. If she ain't got her paperwork, don't step to me. You see how this thing is over here, right? Women can't. All these women are sleeping around, adulterous behavior. They don't give a fuck, and they Luciferians. Most of these women are Luciferians. They're sleeping with men and they're sleeping with females. Some of them don't even have sexual preferences, like dick. If you got dick or pussy. Some of them are pansexual, and they don't give a fuck. I mean, they chances are they probably be sleeping with transgenders, lesbian bitches. Excuse my language. The bitch word, anyways. Lesbian bitches, because bitch word is supposed to be empowering. Lesbian bitches probably be banging out transgenders nowadays. Who the fuck knows? The world's a fucking mayhem. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to live in it peacefully, but everybody's warring, and people try to drag me into war, and try to see if I'm a military tactician. And sometimes I gotta come out and defend myself from the hellfire, because that shit is all around me. It's always been around me since I was young. I mean, I've been to school. I remember going to school, and I had to deal with the hell. When I was 6 years old. I was on the special ed line. Special ed line. I was not special ed, but I was on the special ed line in like fucking 6-year-old, and I had to deal with the hellfire. One of the loonies in the back of the line. But I always hang and bang with the homies since I was young. So even though I was God, because God made me who I was, there was no difference between whether you believe it or you disbelieve when you were young, especially in East Harlem, especially you grow up in secular society. Anyways, but no story short, this is how it is. And if women are not if women are not trying to holler at me or talk to me because I'm Muslim, that means that to me that they unsafe. And that's why I say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, subhanallah, because at the end of the day, if they not for me, Allah doesn't want them for me. You know what I'm saying? And all the women that I was with back then, you can ask about me. All of them was bisexual. Every single one of them. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of them. I had, you know what I mean? I'm not going to start dropping names, but they knew I was secular and I was Christian. They knew I was secular, I was Christian. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would pack the frat houses deep. You know, I'm talking about white fraternities, TKE, and soccer females come and hang out, you know, in my frat parties. And I would, don't famoso, that's my AK. We used to bring nothing but house jamming, you know. But after a while, once you start to analyze and see stratagems of war, you can't isolate yourself from that shit, because you're going to get dragged into that shit anyhow, because that's just how it is, you know. And that's how God made it, because He made us singular, autonomous, but yet we're integrated into the social dynamic. As you see right now with this coronavirus, people are like social distancing, but you need sexual health, right? Sexual health, sexual healing. And the unfortunate part is that a lot of these women are not taking care of themselves. A lot of these women don't want to be faithful. They don't go, they want to be adulterers. They want to worship money. They ain't no money. They want to live their life prostituting themselves for money that they have for 1 second, just to live in a nice, pretty hotel, just pop some champagne, but at the cost of their soul just being reaped, you know. And I'm talking about beautiful, gorgeous blondes and beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful, curvy women that you be like, wow, this is paradise. But when you look at it and you drench that whole scenery, that shit is not paradise. That shit is limbo. That shit is fire just sprinkling and turkling away at you. So and you stay the fuck away from that mileage. 100-mile wave. You gotta walk the wave away from that, because as soon as you bang that chick, you know what I'm saying, you thinking you banging her, but you banging like 100,000 dudes right when you banging her, because dudes be having sex without condoms. And that's the truth. That's why you got high HIV rate in New York City. If you look at the state of New York City, one of the highest states of HIV. One of the highest states. Then you look at California, highest state of HIV. Look at Puerto Rico. And people be like, yo, why is this dude solo? And that's because, you know what? Ever since I was young, I was always riding with the whole hellfire. You know what I'm saying? All that shit that they be doing in New York City, knocking people out, all of that, robbing, stealing. I grew up around all of that shit. But after a while, I started to acknowledge myself and my position in life, and I knew that all of that shit was nonsense. It was nonsense, and I was looking for something greater. And I studied all the arts. I studied politics, art history, philosophy, every single topic, political, economical, sexology, you name it. That's what I do. I carried on the book. This is what I do. Ask about me. I mean, I'm always studying in the library, and usually the time I just don't talk to people is because they know who I am. And at the end of the day, I let them analyze me how they want to analyze me, and let them talk the way they have to talk, because it's something that's coming from their heart, you know, and their heart is what either defiles them or makes them greater. And sometimes you gotta let God decide their positions. Take care. God bless.